sports show in New Mexico.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Back to work. Contract signed. Signing bonus in the account. Back to work. Getting ready for an opener as the NFL season is just 8 days away. A week from tomorrow is when it will open up on a Thursday night. You'll get a Friday night game. The CeeDee Lamb looked good, looked fresh, hair looked good, jewelry was good, smile was bright, and he thinks the future is bright as well. Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. How you living?
Oh, what it do?
Is that right?
That's right.
I'm working on it. All right. CeeDee Lamb, $136 million, back to work. And then says, I wish we would have had a camp. Well, we did. I wish we would have had a camp. It's okay, though. It'll work out fitting back in. But very excited for the moment. Cherish every bit of it. Part of his quote. I wish we would have had a camp.
It's so nice to say. I wish it could have been in practice this whole time.
Yeah, you guys are working your butts off. But I wish I could have been there. It works out pretty well, man. I mean, everybody will tell you camp sucks, right? Especially veterans. I hate training camp. It's work. It's hot. It's hard. And so if you could miss one, and, oh, by the way, get $136 million out of it, it's pretty good. He said he never doubted that he would come back and get the extension. But he said it was stressful. $38 million signing bonus will help ease that stress. $100 million guaranteed will help ease the stress. $34 million average will ease the stress. He said he was working out in Texas, down in Florida as well. Then his agent told him the deal was finalized. Said, quote, it was actually kind of crazy. He hit me with a, yeah, man, this is going south. I was like, what do you mean it's going south? It's time. And that was part of his quote. Then the agent sarcastically said the Cowboys are only trying to pay him $34 million a year. And he says, well, where do I sign? Yeah, only $34 million a year. Where do I sign? So CeeDee Lamb's back. I expect him to fit right back in as if, I mean, it's game week preps. He'll be fine. Everything's fine. They will be fine. He says he wishes Dak would get an extension. You look at our numbers together, they're at the top of the charts. I have no doubt they're going to get a deal done. We all know that I want Dak here. Jerry wants Dak here too. So just get this under control and kill the speculation. Let's go win, was his quote. I'm not as convinced that Dak's getting a deal as he is. Are you?
I am not as convinced.
Right. Final season of the contract, $55.5 million cap hit. And I'm not either. There's no problem, right? He fits back in. He looks like CeeDee Lamb day one, doesn't he?
Yes, there's not a problem. And this was one you look at, and the only reason why it took so long was Jerry being Jerry. Cowboys didn't get savings on this, didn't save a whole bunch of money on the back end or the front end. It was just Jerry Jones saying, all right, now I'm ready to do this. You don't tell me when we do it. I will tell you when we do it, and it's right now.
When it's all said and done, does it matter how it got done? Like in
yes.
2-3 weeks,
yes.
Does it matter? Okay.
Because it feeds into, you've said it so many times, like, stop talking, Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Just get it out of the way. And this was an unnecessary thing they had to talk about for their entire training camp.
But if you're CeeDee Lamb, you're like, man, I didn't have to go through that mess. I didn't have to go through camp. I got paid. I mean,
you're fine if you're CeeDee Lamb.
You're good, right? Until the next time through. And Dak's just sitting there. Look, I'm with you on the Dak thing. I don't think he's getting paid. You wrote an interesting question down here. And I'm not sure I know how to answer it. It says, are the top wide receivers worth it? $34 to $36 million a year. It's market value, right? If it fits into the salary cap, if the money's there, are they worth that chunk of your salary cap? And I think you kind of pointed out the teams that have won the Super Bowl. The last, it's been the Eagles, right? No, yeah, the Eagles, the Chiefs. Who else won a Super Bowl recently?
Tom Brady. Matthew Stafford.
He had Mike Evans. He had
Patrick
Cooper Kupp.
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes had Kelsey. Are wide receivers helping you win Super Bowls?
You need skill players,
Of course.
but I do think it's really interesting right now with this surge at that position specifically for the top tier wide receivers, because two that are getting paid and we're expecting big time production out of them are Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, and they don't swing the fate of their franchise
Because of the quarterback play, right?
Yeah.
I look at consider the best quarterbacks, Mahomes, and they go where you want to go after that in whatever order, whether it's Burrow, Allen, Stroud is up there. Purdy is mentioned a lot. Do they make the receivers? The receivers make them. And well, because your point is, Devontae Adams is a stud. I mean, he's been at the top of this league for 10 years. When he was with Green Bay and he had a quarterback, you're like, oh, he's the best receiver in the league. And now, well, he's a little older, but Gardner Minshew's his quarterback, and you don't think he's going to be as good. The same thing with Justin Jefferson. He got paid, but nobody thinks because now that Sam Darnold's throwing the ball to him, we'll see what happens over the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, that he's going to put up those numbers.
Now, I will say with the Vikings, having Kirk Cousins, they had that belief, and then they restarted with J.J. McCarthy. So you have to have the guys, because we're sitting there looking at a team that we believe has a quarterback of top-tier talent, but no wide receivers, and then I'm speaking of the Chargers right now, and there's not a lot of belief in that system. So, yes, you need your skill players to help make your quarterback better, but, I think it's just fascinating team building right now, because a couple of those guys are getting paid at the top, but other than for your fantasy football team, Devontae Adams is not making the Raiders a playoff contender if Gardner Minshew looks like a backup quarterback.
Does Patrick Mahomes have a great receiver? I look at what they did. I think they've upgraded incredibly over the last 2 years. I mean, when you say Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy, what everything he should be, and then they just added Juju Smith-Schuster again. Does he have?
He's had Travis Kelce.
And so that erases everything.
Great. And he himself is a dude that, even if Travis Kelce wasn't on the field, they're like, yeah, they're probably going to find a way to figure this out.
Who's the quarterback, the really good quarterback, you think, that, aside from Herbert, that just maybe doesn't have the weapons?
And is getting it done at that level? I'd say Lamar Jackson.
What about Josh Allen?
Josh Allen now.
Well, he had Stephon Diggs, but what did Stephon Diggs do last year?
Stephon Diggs also had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Right. But okay, and then last year he didn't, right?
No, he just didn't have a good final 6 weeks.
Right, and they were still pretty damn good, weren't they?
But he was still on the field.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think Stephon Diggs does this year?
Wide receiver 2 production.
But yeah, we'll see. All right, we got a lot to do, a lot to get through today. Sebastian Noel's going to be with us, the voice of the people. 8:00 this morning, we're going to get our first taste of high school football. We're back at it. We started last week. La Cueva seems to be the best team in the state. They've got a bunch of D1 athletes. But we'll talk about everybody else. Is it Centennial? Is it Cleveland? Is it where else? And how different is it this year? So we'll talk with the voice of the people from ProView Networks, Sebastian Noel. We'll do that coming up at 8:00 today. We got a lot of college stuff to get through. The spring transfer window that they're talking about, eliminating that. And the only transfer portal that would be open would be basically bowl season, right? Basically opening up from early December to early January. And that would be it. And there would be some exceptions there. I want to get into Lobos and Arizona this weekend and the interest there and all of the familiarity connections there. Not only Danny Gonzalez is their special teams coordinator, but the rest of the roster as well, and how you're feeling about Lobos going to Arizona. Last I checked, it was a 30.5-point spread. It may have moved. So we'll get through that, but there's a bunch of NFL stuff as well. And you can get in 505-246-0610. There's a list that came out. I think it was Sports Illustrated who did it. Most overrated players. How do you feel about this list? We'll get through a little bit of it at the top. It's a player survey. And I don't know if it'll surprise you at the top. I don't know that you'll agree with it either. But we'll do that and get you some of that when we get back. The number to get in is 505-246-0610. Been a little crime spree of late. You've heard a lot of shootings. There's been a lot of home break-ins. Protect your home, protect your business. And call IPS, International Protective Service. They've been watching my home for years. They watch hundreds of homes and businesses. I know you see them all over the city when you go out. There's IPS officers in front of Targets and all kinds of stores. They protect those places and keep them safe. And when it's you and it's your home, your business, you need a quick response. Police don't have enough officers to respond to all the alarms. IPS is there within 5 to 7 minutes. They oftentimes detain the criminal, and the police come in and pick them up. So who's watching your home when you're away? Make sure it's the good guys, not the bad guys. A quick response to your alarm. Standing guards at your business. It's what IPS does. You'll sleep better at night. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Or don't they? They're the ones who play. We just watch. They know it. You know your business better than most people, right? You do it every day. Somebody can come in from outside and tell you how to do it. People tell us how to do our job all the time. I mean, hell, everybody's a better producer and radio host than we are, right? Everybody can produce the show better than you and me. Everybody can host the show better than you and me. We're idiots, right? I hear that on a regular basis. I understand. 505-246-0610. So, did Juju get cut by Kansas City already? That's what the text line says. Okay. Sports Illustrated did a poll. It was voted on by the players. Okay. I guess ESPN did this. Is that who did it? And it was a players poll. So this is 103 players, JJ, from 25 teams. Decent sample size?
It's solid.
Okay. It's a poll full of hypocrisy, but it's interesting, whatever it means to you. They asked who's the GOAT quarterback. 85 votes for Brady, 7 for Mahomes. A few other players received votes. That was easy. Rank the top 3 current quarterbacks. Have you seen the list? Have you gone through the survey?
Yes.
All
This was on my to-do list today, so I'm glad we're talking about it.
All right. Is that all right? It was kind of near the top of mine. I've been hearing so much about this. Current quarterbacks. Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. By far, Mahomes, 291 vote. How do you get point totals? I guess they got to vote 1, 2, 3 or something. So point totals. 291 points for Mahomes. Lamar Jackson, 124. Joe Burrow, 51. The next guy was Josh Allen, and then Aaron Rodgers. All right. Keep in mind, Josh Allen was 4th on the best list by this group of people. Most overrated quarterback, Josh Allen. Most underrated quarterback, Josh Allen was the 4th. Most polarizing quarterback, Josh Allen. Is that fair?
Yeah, this shows you that NFL players are just like us.
Yeah.
They get in their feelings talking about players, especially quarterbacks. So I think what stands out to me about this list is especially the dynamic between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And that extends across the league. Like, there's this super belief in Lamar Jackson, but yet doubt. And people want to throw shade at Josh Allen, because if you go to also to the NFL Top 100 list, which they do over the summer, and that is all players voted.
Yep.
You know, they released that one on NFL Network. Lamar Jackson was rated the number 2 player in the NFL. By the way, 2 spots ahead of the best player in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, at the quarterback position.
By the players.
By the players.
Yep.
And Josh Allen was 12. So they hold grudges, and they are in their feelings,
100%.
just like all of us when we talk about players.
All right, Josh Allen was not on the underrated. I apologize for that. I'll get there. He was on the best, right? Was listed as the number 1 most overrated quarterback, but he was listed as the 4th best quarterback by the same group of people. They asked which rookie quarterback will have the most successful career. Caleb Williams, 34 votes. Jaden Daniels, 30. J.J. McCarthy, 10. The overrated quarterback is really interesting. And I'm going to go down this list because we've had this conversation. Number 1 was Josh Allen with 11 votes. Number 2, it was a tie. Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. Is Hurts overrated? He went to a Super Bowl, right? I look at this, man. I look at the Josh Allen thing, and you know where I am on this. I don't think he's the greatest thing ever. I think he gets knocked so much because he hasn't beaten Mahomes, and I don't know what more that dude has to do. Everything he had to do, if he had a defense that could, right, he would have beaten them twice in the playoffs, but they didn't, and so he didn't, and so there's no buts. Number 4 on this list is Justin Herbert, which is really interesting. 5, Trevor Lawrence. 6, Deshaun Watson, who I'm stunned isn't higher. 7, Kyler Murray, tied with Brock Purdy. It's really interesting, man.
It's just players are in their feelings like everyone else. And when I look at the overrated versus best, I don't know how to frame it to where it makes sense from players.
It doesn't.
Like that makes no sense to me.
It just doesn't.
Like what? Well, there's obviously a love affair with Lamar Jackson,
okay,
which is fine. He's 2-time NFL MVP.
Yep.
But Josh Allen's been better in the bigger moments than Lamar Jackson.
He has been. He has been.
Like Josh Allen, just in his losses versus Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, was better than Lamar Jackson was in the AFC Championship game at home.
That's correct.
Versus Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's correct. The most underrated is a really telling list. And again, this is the players. The players voted on this. Brock Purdy and Matthew Stafford tied for most underrated at 14 votes. I can get the Purdy thing, although he was also on the most overrated. Stafford's still getting a ton of respect by the players.
Yes, it's because of how long he was in Detroit. He became Dak Prescott. He became what Justin Herbert's going to be. It's a talented quarterback that doesn't have the resume, so we don't think they're that good. We just go, it's all right, just stat getter.
Kind of added to the Super Bowl resume when he got a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why he was never put in the class.
But the only list he showed up on was underrated. Number 3, and there's a 4-way tie for third most underrated. Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, and I think this one will stun you. Bryce Young. Bryce Young's getting a little respect from the players.
I think some of that is just pushing back on their overall narrative. There's probably like Young, saw him at Alabama, just pushing back on everyone, crushing him already and giving up on him.
Does he have a comeback year this year?
To me, the one that needs to change is we got Aaron Rodgers. At one point, was the best quarterback in the NFL.
No, they voted him as the 4th.
He's not.
Yeah,
he's not even close.
But that's what the players voted him as the 4th best.
You want to put a veteran quarterback there? That's the 4th best quarterback in the NFL. That's where Matthew Stafford belongs.
What about Jared Goff? Who's better right now, Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford?
Matthew Stafford.
I'm not sure I think that's right. I would probably go the other way. And, I mean, I hope you're right.
This is all just list ranking, but it's fascinating because it shows you players, even when they know the game, this or that, they obviously hold some grudges. They have a certain feeling because some of them look at it and say, yeah, I think Brock Purdy has it. He can make the throws. And other dudes just sitting back, no. He's just a guy in a loaded offense.
Others receiving votes for underrated. Justin Herbert, who was getting votes for overrated. Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, and then Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa, who tied for the 3rd most overrated. They're getting votes for underrated. So they're all over the place. I thought best trash talking was fun. It was Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, whatever those lists are worth. I'm not big on list radio, you know that, but when it came from the players and I just thought it was a telltale that they're all over the place, just like average fan is.
Yes, and I'm right there with you. The NFL players are in their feelings, just like us when we have these conversations. Even guys that know the game, that have forgotten more about football than we know. Just like people think they can do this. I know I'm a better general manager and coach than all these people.
Of course you are.
In the league. Of course I am.
Yeah.
Just give me that opportunity. But it's, when it's the players, I like these conversations. I was interested in this list, especially at quarterbacks, with where a lot of these guys are in their careers, their expectations for their teams this season. Even going to the top 100 list. Yeah, that's a list, but it's all player driven. And it shows you, too, that players that are on the field with these guys can't get caught up in the moment.
All right, so
because there's no reason like Lamar Jackson should be on any list ahead of Patrick Mahomes, but he was.
All right, how would you have voted? GOAT.
Tom Brady.
All right, me too. Top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. How would you vote it?
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
I'd have gone Mahomes and Burrow. Mahomes and Allen and Lamar. And that's the availability thing to me. Fair?
Yes.
Which rookie quarterback will have the most successful career?
Caleb Williams.
I may go Jaden
yeah.
Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels can be really good. Most overrated quarterback. Who do you think is the most overrated quarterback?
Tua Tagovailoa.
That's a good one. That's probably the answer. I'm kicking between him and Herbert and Lawrence right now. Well, no, hell, Watson. Deshaun Watson. Maybe that's just, is he overrated or overpaid?
I think he's overpaid.
Yeah, I don't think any rates are very high.
There's not a lot of people rating him high right now.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about it all summer, and we feel that Deshaun Watson could be the biggest X factor at quarterback. I think that's actually Aaron Rodgers, because I think we're actually going to see Aaron Rodgers be on the field consistently, even coming off that injury.
That's right.
And I just have no trust in Deshaun Watson.
Better year. Better year, Rodgers or Watson?
I'm going Aaron Rodgers.
Old
dude coming off an Achilles.
I think Rodgers can have a hell of a year.
Like, even just, it doesn't have to be an MVP season. Just good football puts that team in a different.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a good year. Most underrated. Because I'm going to agree with their list. I'm going to go Purdy. I think he's the most underrated quarterback.
That one, I would give the nod to Jared Goff.
It's a fair one. It's a really fair one. Yeah. I don't think he gets nearly enough love. All right, I don't know who the best trash talker is. So. All right.
Sounds a little above our pay grade.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure about. It's a good. It's just an interesting look, and I think the perspective is wow. They're all over the place, just like we are, callers are, listeners are, wherever. They're all over the place too. All right, 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. You can email Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. He was cut by the Broncos, picked up by, you just named his quarterback. Former Bronco receivers got a new home as we go forward. Where is it, and what kind of difference will he make? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Tim Patrick got cut by the Broncos yesterday. He's going to sign with the Detroit Lions. It'll be a practice squad thing. The idea is he'll work his way into the active roster. He was released yesterday as everybody trimmed down to 53 players.
Juju Smith was not cut by the
he wasn't.
Kansas City, but they just signed him.
That's what I thought. That happened yesterday, right? Yeah, the text
line.
line.
A press conference yesterday afternoon. They're discussing he's questionable for its availability week 1, just getting back in the system.
Yeah, thanks for looking at that. I got the text line says Juju already got cut by Kansas City, and I wasn't sure that was right.
We know because all the final cuts came in yesterday by 4:00 Eastern.
All right.
Like all the rosters are down to 53.
All right. Evidently, this Tim Patrick one was hard. George Payton, the general manager of the Broncos, said on behalf of everyone in the organization, I just can't say enough great things about the type of player, the person, Tim Patrick, who I was been a Bronco for the past 7 seasons. You don't hear that about every player. This was emotional. They gave him a lot of money. He got hurt the last 2 years. It almost the kind of guy you root for, huh?
Yeah, the character guy. They gave him the opportunity to rehab, and some of this was a veteran guy, his salary, wanting to go younger in the offense, and he kind of becomes the odd man out of a receiver core that it's Cortland Sutton, it's Josh Reynolds, and then a lot of questions. So I think it did surprise a lot of people that Tim Patrick didn't stick around. But now in Detroit, they signed him to the practice squad, an opportunity to get healthy. Like, they're established.
Yeah, they are.
When you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, like those are your top 3 passing targets, plus David Montgomery.
Jameson Williams, that they evidently had a great camp.
Yeah, Williams is, in terms of just football player, he's going to take the top off. He's going to get some coverage for you. And so Tim Patrick could give you a different look of a willing blocker, a physical receiver, a guy that you can work in. because Jamison Williams, Tim Patchworth, they're on the field. They're not going to be peppered with stuff, but it allows you to give the defense different looks.
What do you make of the Rams saying that Kyron Williams will return punts? Their number one running back. They drafted Blake Corum high in the draft, the running back out of Michigan. Does this tell you that they're going to split touches more in the offense, or they just think Kyron Williams is so explosive they just want to get him on the field more?
I don't know if I believe Sean McVay with this.
You don't believe he's really going to return punts?
Why would you take someone that has flashed the ability to be a top 5 running back in this league and put him out there to fair catch the majority of the time? And potentially take extra hits.
Well, the answer, quote, it's another opportunity for him to get touches and impact the game. And you feel comfortable with that because of the confidence in Blake Corum and Ronnie Rivers being able to spell him if need be.
And they should just spell him if need be, as opposed to having your starting running back returning punts.
I mean, this is a dude that was touched the ball 22 times a game as a running back. I agree with you.
Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs,
they're not
returning punts for a reason.
Yeah. No, I agree with this. This one was a surprise to me. I'm like, okay, does that just mean then that you're getting more touches for Blake Corum? I don't know. All right, 505-246-0610. Emails have started to come in. Jeff at sports@WABQ.com, JJ at sports@WABQ.com. You're talking about Lobos in Arizona this weekend on the text line. Lobos go to Arizona. Last I saw, I'll check again. The number was 30.5 as far as the spread coming up this weekend. It'll be Saturday night. It'll be a late game. It's on, where's it on? It's on ESPN. Yeah. 31 is now the number. Danny Gonzalez is the special teams coordinator, the former Lobo coach. You're going to have Issei Matuatia on the offensive line. And, of course, Bill. You'll see plenty of Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Dude, he could have a day. If they can't stop the run like we watched against Montana State, I mean, Bill could have a day. You think I'm wrong on that?
I don't even think you have to ask that question.
How deep are they? Do you have their depth chart?
So they got 4 guys listed as starting running backs.
Yeah.
So.
Is he one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's at the top.
Yeah. I mean, you better stop it. James said, I don't think the Wildcats are unbeatable. I already have my signs up ready to go. No more con from Danny Gahn. James was right. Bill who? All right, James. Bill who? I mean, Bill was pretty, like on a 4-8 football team last year, with all due respect, James, I mean, you could claim all that stuff on Danny and you didn't like him and you were right. Okay. Bill was pretty damn good last year.
Yeah, you can root against him now.
Yeah. Well,
You're
you could have rooted
fan.
against him then, but you can't tell me Bill who. Like, dude was pretty damn good.
There's no reason to root against Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt last season. He was the best offensive player for the Lobos.
And the best stamp story they had. This one says, it's from Bill, with all due respect to Montana State. Lobo football is going to see a different kind of athlete the next 2 weeks, Jeff, including 350-pounders up front the Bobcats didn't have. Now, they may not have the heart the guys from Bozeman showed in dramatic stretch play. I don't think Auburn showed much heart against New Mexico State last year, Bill. Yeah, you got beat, and you're absolutely upping your competition. Yeah, you're seeing a whole different kind of athlete this week. Lenny, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Lenny.
How you doing? Well, I don't want to talk bad about the Lobos with a new coach, but I'm going to take Arizona in the points.
All right, 31. It's going up, so you better get in now.
It's just a rebuilding season, so we'll just see what happens. So let's go into the NFL now. You're probably going to do your picks at the end of the week for the divisions?
I imagine.
Okay. I'm just going to say one thing. It's going to be Detroit and KC for the Super Bowl.
I don't hate that. No, I don't hate that.
I don't even see San Francisco winning the division. I'm going to go with the dark horse and go with the Rams.
Okay.
But the rest of the divisions are up for grabs.
Yes. I think the AFC North is. The AFC East can be interesting because I think there's 3 good teams. I think everything else is. Yep. I agree with you. I think the
won't
Eagles
even
probably
be a homer for the Chargers this year. I only got them winning 8 games.
That's such a rough situation there, man. And how much of an impact does a coach make? Because you figure they upgraded the coach, they love their quarterback, but they downgraded. I think they downgraded at receiver. I mean, I think they do. Let's see what they're able to do with young receivers. And they got, a guy from last year in Quentin Johnson. Can he jump up? But I mean, Josh Palmer's your number 1 guy. You just drafted Ladd McConkey. I'm concerned about their playmakers.
Well, I'm concerned. I think they have one of the worst receiving rooms in their division.
In their division they do. They may have one of the worst receiving rooms overall.
And I was surprised that Jerry Rice's son made the team.
Brendan. Yep.
I was surprised that they got rid of Donald Parham because the other 2 tight ends they have are blocking tight ends. So now you take away your best 50-50 threat as a tight end.
Yep. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Yeah,
so it's just kind of confusing. And the Cowboys, even with them signing CeeDee Lamb, I just don't like when a coach goes in as a lame duck.
I hear
and
that.
I don't think McCarthy's going to act well under pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's a chance he may not make it through the season. All right, man, it's good to hear you. Thanks, Lenny. All right, I got to take this break. Miguel, stay there, please. Want to hear what you have to say. 505-246-0610. Sebastian Noel coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll talk high school sports and high school football with him then. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, refractive lens exchange. the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Over on News Radio KKOB, televised on ESPN. It's the opening drive. Jefferson Vieta, JJ Buck, Miguel. Thanks for holding here on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Miguel.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, I'm going to say this. Lobos aren't going to win, but they're going to cover. A couple of things you got to think about here. You just can't look at it from the Lobos side. Arizona has a new coach.
Yep.
Arizona, there's a lot of talk based off of what they did last year, and they got some returning starters. But I don't know that everything's just going to click with a new coach on game one for them. And you got to look at, Lobos lost to a very good FCS team who will be in the FCS playoffs this year, but they got a week of experience. And Arizona doesn't have that yet. I just don't think that. I think 31.5 points or 30 points, whatever it is, that's a lot. And I think they cover. But I'll tell you guys, where I'm really worried, I'm a 57-year-old man in good health. I'm 6'2", 220 pounds. I watched the Lobos last week. I might be able to rush 50 or 60 yards against that defense. They got to tighten that up. I mean, you can't. That's what scares me more than anything. I don't know what Arizona's rushing game looks like, but they got to be able to stop the run. That's my take on that.
All right, Miguel must be in good shape, too. I mean, if he can go 50, 60 at 57 years old, 6'2", 220. Or what do you say, 6'5", 220? Big dude.
He's been putting in the work.
Yeah, he's been putting in the work. Their running game's good, man. They got four deep at running back, and one of them's the guy who you loved here last year, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Bill, who left here, went to Arizona, then went to Washington first, then went to Arizona, then went to Ole Miss, then went back to Arizona. They got a good offensive line. One of them is your former lineman. Yeah, they're going to run the ball, man. And I asked Bronco Mendenhall this at the press conference the other day. JJ, I said, is there an advantage to having played a game? They get to see you on tape, but you've played a game. And he says, I'm glad we played a game, or something along those lines. Because I think put it in the form of there is a belief, and I don't know if it's your belief, that the biggest improvement is from week 1 to week 2. And in that vein, do you feel you have an advantage? He says, I'm not sure I do believe that, because I'd like to improve from week 2 to 3 and 4 to 5 and 7 to 8, and right. But is there an advantage to having played a game? Yeah, you get some of that out. You kind of have an idea who you are. You're smirking at me.
Well, you spin it to whatever
your advantage. Yeah.
You say you were able to go out there and start addressing things as opposed to assuming stuff. You think this is going to be good. You think that's going to work. Now you see it, and you can address it. But the run defense from the defensive line back is concerning because looking at it, this wasn't a triple option offense that they're throwing everything at you. There was a lot of just inside outside.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of deception with it. There wasn't. I mean, it was here. Come get me. I'm coming between the tackles. Yeah. They got a fantastic quarterback, by the way, in Fatita. And yeah, this is a club that, I mean, you got a wide receiver who's projected. I'm looking. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at draft rankings. Field Yates already has next year's draft rankings out. Number 8 on his draft board for next year is Titoroa McMillan, their receiver, 6'5", 210. And I mean, so you're running up against that. They've got him ahead of Travis Hunter right now, listed on the draft board. The guy from Colorado, the guy that plays both ways. So yeah, man, there's talent over there. And did a lot of it go with Jed Fish up to Arizona? It did. They got another guy in the top 20, an offensive lineman, 6'5", 330. Jonas Savaiinea. I believe is how you say it. But yeah, man, this is the 21st ranked team in the country. They got another one. So out of the top 25 prospects on Field Yates' list for next year, Tacario Davis, the cornerback, the defensive back. They got 3 dudes on the top 25 prospect list right now. 3 out of 25 is a number. And it's you say, oh, yeah, no, that's Michigan, that's Alabama. No, it's Arizona. That's what you're going up against this weekend. I'm not telling you they can't compete. I'm not telling you, but 31's the number right now. And your concern, and it's fair, and that was the last caller's concern, right? What he said, I'm 57 years old, you say 6'2", 220, and he thinks he can run for 50, 60 yards. By the way, Lobo's saying, come out to practice, young fella. Let's see if you can really do that. Come on, Miguel. Let's go. We'll pad you up. Let's see if you can. It's interesting. Do you think it matters to Bill and to Issa that they're playing their former team?
Well, Issa's not on the 2 deep.
He's not. He didn't make the 2 deep. Okay.
Yeah, that's the guy that's there. They know.
Isn't that crazy? That was your starting lineman, one of those guys last year. You're like, okay, we got a really good line, and he's not on the 2 deep at Arizona. Does that tell you a little something?
Well, it was. I think some of it was he was with Arizona State for a little bit and then went to Arizona, so earning your time with the Wildcats.
All right.
But it's definitely Corey Krosky-Merritt on the other side.
Yeah. You think it matters to him? I think it does.
Mm-hmm. I think Devin Dampier, when he spoke to the media yesterday,
I heard his comments,
is exactly what you want out of a quarterback. Acknowledging that, hey, Danny Gonzalez gave him a scholarship, gave him an opportunity, appreciates it. He'll see Bill wishes him the best, but you locked in. And I think that's a good message. You can't deny the connections because that's a huge one. This program just went through loads of feelings on and off the field with Danny Gonzalez. There are going to be plenty of camera shots of him if you're watching the game. And Robert and Dontrell are going to touch on it a little bit, on Sports Radar Network. But then when it gets down to it, it's player versus player.
McMillan, is it Tetoria? I don't even know how to say his first name. It's Tetairoa.
Tetaroa.
Is that how the pronunciation chart says
Tetaroa.
All right, so Tetaroa McMillan, according to the Tucson newspaper, will play in the opener. I guess he underwent surgery, missed the final week of spring practices, and he missed the spring game. What was the injury? It was a leg injury, a left leg injury, but he will play. So, whatever that means. I mean, they're really good. They're going to be good, and this is going to be an interesting one. All right, when we come back, let's get into some high school stuff. They're going full speed. We got good games coming up. Sebastian Noel's going to be with us, the voice of the people from ProView Networks. Who's the best team? Who do you got to look out for? Some of the players to look for as you go through high school football. Can't wait to talk to him. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he...
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Lots going on in high school football because it's underway. JJ, did you see your alma mater was a winner last week? That was a big deal. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Some statements last week were made. La Cueva made a statement shutting out Volcano Vista in a shortened game. Centennial made a statement beating Cleveland. And we're just underway. What's going on with you? Who are you watching? Who should you be watching? Well, you should be watching ProView Networks and all the games that they put up and on their platforms. The game of the week, and it's time. It's been too long to check in with the voice of the people. You watch him over on ProView Networks all the time. He is Sebastian Noel. Joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir. How you living?
Good morning, guys. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been too long of a while. Good to get you back in here and talk about it, man. And I know this is your go time and your time of year, and so many people just love this. And the beginning of high school football so much sneaks up on people, right? Early start last week. Big statements, though, right? I thought the biggest one might have been Centennial going to Cleveland and winning 35-28.
Yeah, I mean, that was by far the best game of the opening week. And I don't want to say a surprise. I think those teams are on pretty level footing. But to go on the road and win at Cleveland, I think that still has to be considered a little bit of an upset. I thought maybe Centennial lost a couple of pieces. So I wasn't sure just how good they'd be, but obviously they're pretty good. So local fans will get another chance to see them, by the way. This Saturday, they're in town again, which is rare, back-to-back trips to the Metro. They play at Trisco on Saturday. That's a game you can catch on ProView Networks, but if you're out and about, hopefully weather permitting, and it's a beautiful day, you get a chance to see Centennial again.
That'll be out at Community Stadium. And so who's the best team? I mean, when you look at it, is it just La Cueva because they've got so many Division I athletes? They played an abbreviated game. It got lightninged out. They won 21-0. I had a buddy down from Las Cruces say, how many D1 athletes do they have? Is it 5? From quarterback to the line, is it them by default, or is there some real competition at the top?
Well, I think it's definitely them. By whether you want to call it by default or by domination or by the sheer plethora of talent, it's them, right? When Cameron Dyer's back at quarterback, we saw what he did in the championship game. He's probably the quickest receiver as far as with foot speed, Tanner Montano. He's back, and he's only a junior. And then you got probably, and I'm usually an offensive guy, but probably the most entertaining guy to watch on a football field, Mason Posa. He is our modern day Urlacher out there, right? Like at linebacker, because he just lines up everywhere. He's just teeing off on the quarterback. He's one of those D1 guys that you mentioned, right? Going to be going to Wisconsin. He's so fun to watch, but they have talent at every position. They're the number one team, and I don't think the separation from 1 to 2 has been this large, at least since I've been around.
And they could play Pinnacle. Is that a Texas team, the Pinnacle Pioneers that they play this weekend?
That's a Phoenix team, and a very good Phoenix team, and that'll be the only time this season La Cueva will have less D1 players on the field than their opponents. So they'll definitely be tested. They're playing in a neutral site in Flagstaff on Friday. They get a little earlier start, so a couple hours ahead of our usual 7 o'clock kickoff. That could be a game that they struggle in, because talking to some coaches, Pinnacle's a team you can't run against. So they didn't get much started through the air against Volcano Vista. They didn't have very many snaps as far as scrimmages. The only advantage is it'll be Pinnacle's first game, so maybe now Pinnacle will have the rust, not La Cueva.
It's interesting. He's Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks. We're talking high school football. You get to go out and watch Little starting tomorrow night.
Sebastian, all the things that we've talked about are pretty well-known things, the high schools, the names. But in terms of classifications, district realignment, is there anything that we should know about going into this season?
Well, yeah, the districts they're very, very different. So I think as we get closer to district play, we can start to talk about some of that, right? The goal during reclassification and realignment was basically to have larger districts, more district games, because it was getting so difficult for teams to schedule games, especially some of your better teams, your La Cuevas, your Cleveland. Let's take them as examples in 6A. Very difficult for them to build a schedule because, honestly, nobody wants to play them. So the rationale was bigger district, 8, 9-team districts, so you only have to schedule a couple of non-district games. I mean, there's some districts that'll start district play in week 3 and week 4. So,
Sebastian Well, ProView Networks, with us, and we saw what Centennial was able to do. We know that they're a good football team, but it's also been 8 years since someone other than Cleveland, Rio Rancho, La Cueva, you go back to Manzano, played in a 6A championship game. Is some of that just, hey, what happens when you get to the postseason, or is it a shift in talent, shift in population? What are some of the coaches saying?
Well, I think definitely that period of Southern dominance in the large classification, it's over, right? Thanks to the Cleveland Storm. And now La Cueva kind of carrying that on a little bit. Now, I think the South will have their say this year. I think Las Cruces and Centennial are 2-3, whichever way you want to put them. I think I fancy Las Cruces just ahead of Centennial. We get a chance to see Las Cruces this Friday on the My 50 game of the week against Volcano Vista. Las Cruces played La Cueva tough in the playoffs, and they returned almost everybody. So I know, talking to some of those La Cueva coaches, they definitely, Las Cruces has their attention.
Sebastian, JJ's alma mater won a game, and you're saying, all right, whatever, but it kind of is a big deal. Cibola snapped a long losing streak with their win over Albuquerque High last week.
Yes, and it came early, so enjoy it, JJ, because it will probably be the only one this season.
You think that's it, huh? All right, let's get out
good
of
good job and good effort.
Let's get out of the big boys just for a minute and go down. Academy Moriarty was good last week. It was a 1-point game. Who else to look at aside from the big schools, the big names? Who else should people maybe go out and get a look at? Whether it's Moriarty, whether it's Academy, Pius, whomever.
Well, if we're going to get in, let's talk in that classification 4A. I think definitely the sleeper team for me, and I think you want to talk about appealing to the eye. St. Pius is the team you want to watch. Young guys, first of all, they're incredibly young. They have a running back by the name of Herschel Holloway, tiny guy. He ran for almost 250 yards and pretty much first half carries against West Mesa because he didn't get the ball much against West Mesa in the second half. So he's phenomenal to watch. I think the best receiver, regardless of classification, plays at St. Pius, a kid by the name of Cale Cox-Liggins, 6'3", runs great routes, long arms, looks the part. He's that guy, right? If he was playing for any 6A school, look out. A quarterback, as far as arm talent and just throwing it, I mean, down the field, probably the best quarterback in that regard as well. But he's young, right? So he doesn't make some mistakes. Definitely made some against West Mesa, and the Mustangs capitalized against him. But that is a fun team to watch because they spread it out and they throw it all over the place, and then Holloway can run. That's the team to watch in 4A. Now, Portales is the heavy favorite there in 4A, but I think St. Pius is by far the most fun team to watch in that classification.
All right, I got a text from Terry. It says, discuss with Sebastian about the inconsistent lighting rule and how long you wait to cancel a game. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's something really worth discussing. Let's see. There is no rule, right, from district to district. There's no statewide standard, right? So basically, I know when lightning strikes within a certain area, they start the timer of 30 minutes, and they go from there, right? Every time there's a strike, it restarts. And then pretty much the staff there at the school, in conjunction with the coaches and referees, kind of they're looking at radar on their cell phones, just like you would be in the bleachers, and they're deciding what to do from there. Would it be nice to have a uniform standard? Sure. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have, okay, if we have this many strikes or the delay lasts this long, then we cancel the game. And if it's we've played, I don't know, 3 quarters and the game is official. If not, we have to make it up. Well, it becomes official after halftime. But, you say, why wouldn't you? I mean, why does Artesia get to host against Roswell? Because your grandpa played a home game in 1977. I mean, some things just don't make sense. But this one, how would you not have a rule as to how to handle
a situation that is a very real situation around here. You see what I'm saying?
And the weather looks bad this week too, so we might get some more instances.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, you got you're back on My 50, correct? Statewide, you get a game of the week every Friday night.
We do, and I'm not just saying this because I want you to watch this week, but looking at our schedule, which has some duds on it, because potentially this week might be the best week on our schedule with Volcano Vista and Las Cruces. I think a pretty even matchup there, pretty close. Volcano's trying to bounce back after that loss. Las Cruces, I just built them up to how good they are. I think this might be one of the better games of the week.
All right, and explain to people what's going on to watch games on ProView Networks and on Game Time, and what you guys have going and how they can access all the content that's available.
Sure. So aside from the game of the week, we are still streaming APS games on Game Vision, and then some non-APS games on the NFHS network. So the best way to kind of handle that is just head over to our website, proviewnetworks.com, and then you kind of see the schedule there, and you can click around from there. Because even when we have a Friday My 50 game of the week, we'll have another game that night on Comcast Channel 26, so if you're a Comcast customer, or on Game Vision, and then probably one or two other events that night on Game Vision as well. So definitely, Jeff, we'll have sometimes we even got to call you guys, right?
Yeah.
We're like,
when you're
hey,
scraping the bottom of the barrel, you call us. Hey,
let's get the big guy out. Let's see if the big guy will throw us a bone and do a game.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel, man. Can you go out to Jal and hit the Dairy Queen or Freeze or whatever the place is called? And I get it. I'll do a game or two at some point. JJ, are you in? You still enjoy it?
Always.
Yeah. And there's soccer and volleyball. It's not just the football on there. They do such a great job. So check out their website. It's proviewnetworks.com, and you can get them. Catch Sebastian. Who you calling the games with on My 50?
John Chavez.
Nice.
He's been around a long time. Obviously, his son was a fantastic quarterback there at Cibolo, right? It was a couple of years ago. He's coached with Rod Williams, so definitely knows the game, and we're excited to bring that this year.
All right. We'll catch up with you throughout the season. We won't be strangers anymore. Just love the content, and we'll reach out here in the next 3 weeks. Have a great call on Friday. Continue to have success, and we always appreciate the conversation.
All right, guys, be good. Thanks a lot.
Be well. He's Sebastian Noel. So that helps, right? Doesn't it? Kind of you got good games. I mean, it sounds like La Cueva really is separated. When you got, 4 or 5 guys going Division I around here, that's a big deal.
That's gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a roster. And it's, when you say, well, quarterback's going to Arizona State, and he's going to Wisconsin, and he's going to Minnesota, and you're like, holy bleep. Like that's something around here. And La Cueva would be a team that if you're at some point, go out and catch them. But you got a good one with Las Cruces coming up, play Volcano Vista this week. Rio Rancho's at Clovis this weekend. West Mesa's playing Mayfield. Los Lunas is at Cleveland. So you got games and really good stuff to watch. You got the night game. The annual night game at Academy is this weekend. They play Del Norte on Saturday night. So you got a lot of options. All right. We can recap whatever you heard there, and I want to reset. And I got a bunch of stuff still coming in on Level Football. How's your car? Like I'm assuming it's riding okay, but how does it look? Like, look around it. You're in your car. I know it gets that way, right? Dusty, dirty. There's just junk. Pay it a little attention. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing and have them come out and detail your vehicle. And when I tell you they come to you, like you don't have to make time. They make the time for you. You don't have to take it there, wait around, or get a ride back, or go pick it up. I don't know where they are. They don't want you to know where they are. They just want to know where you are so they can come to your office, your home, and detail your vehicle. And detailing is not just cleaning your car. This is what the auto dealers do. When you took your car off the lot, it was detailed. That's why it looked and felt and smelled the way it did, brand new. Well, they'll do that for you at your convenience, when it works for you, where it works for you. They're awarded Best in the City because they're the best in the city. They also are pros and the best at window tinting. They're a certified 3M dealer. That means they've got the best product on the market. You can ask for ceramic tint. Blocks 99% of UV and infrared rays. That keeps your car looking and feeling cool, so get the professional tint you need at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Give them a call at 505-859-2859. Area code 505-859-2859. Or you can book online at otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505 294-7684 or visit HansWillerAuto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Sebastian's time. Thanks for being with us, by the way. 505-246-0610. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Trips on a tank bull? You can go to Glorietta Adventure Camps. I-5 zip line. The adventure is for 4 people and is valued at over $500. Includes 5 sections of zip lines stretched above the Rockies. Plus, you'll get a $150 gift card from Mercedes-Benz of Albuquerque. So log on to our website, sportsanimалabq.com, and register there and enjoy our trip on a tank bull. A little roadie, get you out of town, but kind of not that far. It's not like you have to go to Michigan or something like that. It's pretty close. Good stuff here. All right, JJ. People, once the season starts, maybe it's the same people, maybe it's the same stuff on Lobo Football. So I got this email. It's from Carl. It says, does Bronco mercenary equal Rocky? Well, first of all, if he does, then you're going to have a hell of a lot of success, right?
Yes.
Wasn't Rocky's teams eligible, bowl eligible 7 years in a row? And yeah, right. But it was a rough beginning, was it not? They won like 2 and then 3 and then
1
4. Yep.
Win better each season.
Yep. Carl says, Jeff, the beginning of the end for Rocky was losing to Portland State. Frustrated Lobo fans said he looked like a statue on those sidelines. He never moved his arms. I heard the same thing about Bronco Mercenary leaving Branchfield Saturday night. Did you really? Like really after one game? Did you really? Fans have not given up on Bronco Mendenhall because they lost one game to a really good FCS team in Montana State. Like, it's not good. I'm not telling you it's a good loss. I'm telling you it's an understandable loss. But really, Carl, really, is that what people were saying? Because I didn't hear that. That doesn't, and just because I didn't hear it doesn't mean it wasn't being said. But to me, those two aren't the same. The Portland State loss came multiple years in. Wasn't that Jerry Glanville's team? The Portland State was coached by Jerry Glanville, I'm pretty sure, when they came in and beat the Lobos that year. But to me, there's no similarities here. This was the first game of his first year of a rebuild of a program, and you had 60 new players, and you're trying to figure out what you are. And by the way, that's a team that is going to compete for the FCS championship. JJ, I see no similarity to Rocky losing in whatever that was, his 7th, 8th, 9th year. I don't even remember it's Portland State. And that was Jerry Glanville, I'm almost certain, to what happened last Saturday. You do?
I don't.
I mean, I wonder, did he really hear that? Or is that just kind of, you're trying to drop
his
parallel?
thoughts
Yeah.
On it?
Yeah.
It's when the program is down, you're going to nitpick everything. The coach wasn't showing enough emotion on the sideline. Coach is showing too much emotion on the sideline.
I love that crap.
Porridge is a little bit too cold. The porridge is too hot. Oh, this porridge is just right.
Yeah, just right. I understand that. If they would have won that game 34-31, or if they would have won 31-28 and had stopped them on the last drive, would that have been okay? I guess it would have been 31-27. Would Lobo fan been okay with a 4-point win?
Yes.
Would Carl have fans like that?
I don't know, but it's about winning.
Yeah, I think so too.
How it looks right now.
Yeah.
You're not at that point with this program.
Yeah, and you didn't win, and that's why people are coming in like that. All right, fine. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. For whatever reason, you still pay a toll. Emails are coming in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and jj@sportsanimалabq.com. We are on the visual medium. You can watch us on Xfinity Channel 26 on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. Adrian's producing for you there and is doing a hell of a job with it. All right. Talked to you a little bit about CeeDee Lamb earlier. Cowboy fan, you feeling any better? Did you see Elijah Mitchell went down, the backup running back for the 49ers? And JJ, you say whatever, they got Christian McCaffrey, and Christian McCaffrey got dinged up. As much as we talk about teams having to go to their backup quarterback all the time, I would love to see the numbers, and I haven't seen this, but would you agree with me if I said to you, just by guessing, that as much as starting quarterbacks go down, so do starting running backs for a few games here and there?
Yes.
And so that makes Jordan Mason, and you're like, Jordan Mason? Yeah, third-year guy out of Georgia Tech, who's now the Niners' backup running back, makes him pretty important considering Christian McCaffrey's questionable right now for week number 1. And Elijah Mitchell was their number 2, and who has shown flashes and had been a good number 2 for them. But if I look around, like last year, I feel like everybody had running backs going down. I don't know if you think Mostert or Achane was number 1 at Miami, but I mean, they just go through it all. Breece Hall was down for a long time. I mean, Saquon's always down.
Breece Hall wasn't last year.
Wasn't last year? It was 2 years ago. It just feels. I'd love to.
I think some of that is fantasy football trickling in.
In
like
regards,
when you lose like one of your high picks.
Well, my point is, they went through 66 starting quarterbacks in the NFL last year. Is that right?
Yes, they did.
So the rate at which starting quarterbacks miss games, I haven't seen a study on this or research, but I would argue that it's probably within 3 percentage points that starting running backs miss games as well. You think I'm way off on that?
They missed games.
Yeah.
So last year, Christian McCaffrey played 16 games.
Okay. So we missed 8 games.
Derrick Henry played 17.
Okay.
Karen Williams played 12.
So he missed
James Cook played 17.
Who did?
James Cook.
Yeah.
And I was the 4th leading rusher in there.
So you're looking at the leading rusher. So you're looking at the top of the guys who obviously didn't miss a lot of games. Right? But I mean, if you just say, well, all right, Nick Chubb, Kyren Williams, Alvin Kamara because of not injury, but he missed games. Jahmyr Gibbs, right?
Jahmyr Gibbs played 15 games.
He played 15, so he missed 2.
Okay, Isaiah Pacheco played 14.
Who did?
Isaiah
so
Pacheco.
That means he missed 3.
Barkley missed 3 games.
Yeah. I mean, 3.
Breece Hall played 17. Bijan played 17. Yeah.
All right, but 3 out of 17 is a significant number of games.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. So backup running back to me is also an important position. And I think it's an interesting and significant thing at some point to look at the backup when you lose a guy like that for the season. That's all I'm saying. I mean, quarterback is quarterback. I understand the difference.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs only played 13 games last year.
Yeah, I mean, most teams, their starting running back missed 3 or more games.
Aaron Jones only played 11.
Yeah. Boy, don't I know it. Yeah. Man, kind of proving me out, right? Joe Mixon missed a couple games, didn't he?
I think last year, too, was just one of those seasons we'll look back on for the starting quarterbacks, and that'll be one of the peaks. Just crazy.
You hope so. Yeah, you hope so. Because they want to protect quarterbacks.
But and a lot of that, too, is extensive injuries.
Austin Eckler missed.
When you look at these running backs, if they're missing 3 to 4 games, like that's manageable in a season.
Manageable? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, but 3 out of 17 is a significant number. You know, so in baseball, that would be like missing 35 games, 40 games.
But it's easier to cover 3 games missed by a running back
than a quarterback. 100%. I'm not arguing with you there. I'm not arguing with you at all. I'm just saying I think the numbers are really similar, and hence your backup running back position is also an important.
Got to have a good handcuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. 505-246-0610. This is so interesting. You put this on here. What do drafts mean? You know how we always say, give me 2 years and we'll evaluate your draft? I mean, everybody, how'd they do on draft day? And you get a report card the next day. Give me 2 years. Well, one team drafted 7 players last year. How many of them made the cut? This one may stun you. It's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Traffic.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most.
I think the Washington Commanders know what their 2023 draft was like. And it's part of the reason they have a new head coach. It's also part of the reason that they were able to get Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from LSU, the number 2 pick in the draft, someone nipping at the heels of Caleb Williams. And both quarterbacks have an unbelievably high ceiling that they can reach. And both are set up pretty well, even with that questionable 2023 draft from the Commanders. It's the opening drive here on The Sports Animal. Jeff mentioned it right before the break. Cut down day yesterday. NFL rosters trimmed down to 53 across the board. And Washington released 5 of their 7 draft picks from 2023. The only remaining players on the team were the first-round pick, cornerback Emmanuel Forbes, and the second-round safety, Quan Martin. And they released 5 other players. But that's a snapshot of what happens. That's how you get to the point where you move on from Ron Rivera and you clean out the coaching staff and restart. Pretty good restart for the Washington Commanders, getting Jaden Daniels. And then you look at the NFC, and all of a sudden the NFC has shifted to having a lot of depth. Last few years, we've been hyper-focused on the AFC and the quarterback play in the AFC, the depth of it. When you look at chasing down Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, the other teams in the AFC North, the fact that the Steelers and Browns have just found ways to win games and be competitive. But now you look at the NFC and the young quarterbacks with the high ceilings, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, the established systems and quarterbacks at the top. Once again, in that Final Four, you're going to see some combination of Brock Purdy and the 49ers, Jared Goff and the Lions. I think it is going to be a big bounce-back season for the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts, even with the noise in the offseason, the stories that were coming out about how much of a divide there was between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. They have to figure that out. I think Nick Sirianni bringing in established coordinators is huge, because last year they lost both their coordinators to head coaching positions coming off a Super Bowl appearance. You expect that. Shane Steichen, Indianapolis, Jonathan Gann in Arizona, and Sirianni tried to give some guys an opportunity, bigger opportunity, didn't work. Saw them go through multiple OCs, defensive coordinators in terms of who's calling plays, what are they doing. Now for Philadelphia, everything is there. Established players in the front 7 in the secondary, an offense that took a step forward, adding Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Yeah, we can talk about all the talent that we want, but I think when you look at bounce-back candidates, and it's Jalen Hurts. And who's he going to be? Because he showed you flashes of a guy that we talk about as a top 5 quarterback in the league at times. And we are all hit and miss, just like the NFL players who get in their feelings, as we were discussing some of the rankings that have come out, the player survey ESPN did, over 100 player surveyed, and they're just talking about quarterbacks and how they are so hot or cold with some of these guys on that list. And I think Jalen Hurts is one of those guys. Yeah, the second half of the season was a disaster for the Eagles overall last year. But Jalen Hurts feels like the guy you can trust to bounce back. Feels like the guy that's going to make it worth with Kellen Moore. That if there's a rub there with Nick Sirianni, even though Kellen Moore hasn't been in the building in a long time, could he be someone that just helps that team stay consistent? Helps Jalen Hurts lock in, become a little bit better in certain areas, passing in the middle of the field, and having a back like Saquon Barkley that can catch so many passes out of the backfield, be a decent route runner in the middle. I think that's going to help Jalen Hurts become a better quarterback. Then you look at those teams in the FC, the young quarterbacks. Then you have, of course, Matthew Stafford. It's a fascinating season leading up to it. And sometimes the mistakes can leave you in a better position. And that's just the case for the Washington Commanders with having to cut 5 players that they drafted in 2023, showing, it did not work out, but that's left them in a much better position. They have a brighter future. Build off of your mistakes, learn from your mistakes. And the Commanders, well, cost people their jobs. That's the NFL. It's big business. That's sports for you. Now all of a sudden you're feeling a lot different about the 2024 draft class headlined by Jaden Daniels. So speaking of those quarterbacks, NFL players are just like us. Yes, they know the game. They're on the field. They are making the plays. They are going against these guys. But when you ask them, who's the best quarterback in the game? Who's the most underrated quarterback? Who's the most overrated quarterback? They have answers just like us. So do you agree with the players, or is it a swing and a miss? We're going to talk NFL quarterbacks when we come back on the other side. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
and no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep,
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
But he isn't a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, despite what the NFL players say themselves. Yes, I'm pushing back on the dudes that are actually on the field and know more football than I do. Impactful, but not the 5th best quarterback. What it do? Welcome back to the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Jeff Symbieta. So ESPN was able to get 103 players to respond for a story they just put out, and it was all about the quarterbacks. And there's a couple lists that I do wait or pay attention to. And that's the NFL Top 100 because it is players voting on players. And then this story was very interesting to me because there's responses directly from players. But what it shows me is even guys that line up, that watch the film, that play with or against these quarterbacks, they're just like us when it comes to talking about quarterbacks. They get in their feelings. They have their biases. They have their grudges, I'm sure. But in this story, there were 103 players were asked to rank the best quarterbacks in the NFL, most overrated quarterbacks, most underrated quarterbacks. The 5th best quarterback in the NFL on this player survey was Aaron Rodgers. And that is just the legend of Aaron Rodgers. He is not the 5th best quarterback. But Aaron Rodgers can still be the biggest X factor this season. I think that Aaron Rodgers has replaced Deshaun Watson in that conversation. We've had that conversation in the last 2 years with Deshaun Watson, and I can't trust that man to be healthy. I can't trust him to be available. Shoulder injury last year, had the surgery, still dealing with some shoulder soreness throughout training camp. Cleveland is just like the Jets. If they get good quarterback play, they're going to be successful. As we saw last year, the Browns managed to win 11 games when they got hot at the end of this season thanks to Joe Flacco. The New York Jets went through Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, threw meaningful passes for that team, and they won 7 games. So while I'm out on the Aaron Rodgers still being one of the best quarterbacks in the game, I think that's a legend that NFL players are still living on. He's the biggest X factor of the quarterbacks next season on teams that are ready to go. Could Deshaun Watson be that? Sure, but I actually trust an old Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles injury more than I do Deshaun Watson right now. And that's a Cleveland Browns team that should be in that position, that should feel like they can go into the postseason and win multiple games next year. But it's an interesting look because it shows you that NFL players are just like us. When you say, oh, who's the most overrated quarterback? They say, well, Josh Allen. But how can you say Josh Allen's the 3rd best quarterback in the league and the most overrated quarterback?
Can I guess it was different dudes? How many of you think voted for both categories for the same dude? Can he be the most overrated and underrated? I mean, he shouldn't be, right?
No, I don't think you can be a consensus top 3 to 5 quarterback, depending on what rankings you want to look at, that are been voted on by NFL players, and then at the same time be overrated. I do not think those things go hand in hand.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I've switched in our conversation of biggest X factors from Deshaun Watson to Aaron Rodgers. And I get it. We talk about Aaron Rodgers so much, the legend of Aaron Rodgers. Do I think he's the 5th best quarterback in the league like he was on the survey? Absolutely not. But do I trust a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles injury more than I do Deshaun Watson? Yes, I do.
I absolutely do. But the bigger X factor, I think they're just as, honestly, just as big because both of those teams are built to make a difference if they get good quarterback play. So to me, they're the 2 biggest. I think they're 1 and 1A. You think Rodgers more so than Deshaun Watson? I'm okay with that.
I think the definition of kind of what we're describing is Deshaun Watson, but I am so out on anything with Deshaun Watson.
Everybody is, dude. Everybody is. And I'm going to guess there's people in their building who are as well.
It's pretty telling that you have Deshaun Watson and Cleveland decided to keep 4 quarterbacks on their roster.
For a team who started 5 last year, how many will start this year? Over under 2.5. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
He's in camp. He's got his money. He's got his contract. He feels good. Kyron Williams is going to return punts. Jamar Chase is in camp. He doesn't have a contract. It's the opening drive. I don't know if we got a contract either. Jeff, JJ, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. I know this is not sports related, but just a little parental advice via a story. So do you take your son, do you take him to museums?
He has been to museums.
Right, keep him close by. There was an archaeological museum. There is one in Israel, and a 4-year-old boy accidentally smashed a 35-year-old jar that was on display. I'm not sure what that cost the parents.
How old was the jar?
The jar was 3,500 years old. The boy was.
You said
4.
35 at first. I'm like,
oh, did I? 3,500 years old.
Oh my goodness. You can't pay that back.
No, I don't know how you do. The Hecht Museum defined it. So the jar was out there, big clay jar, and it was out there without any protective glass around it. And the curator there said they wanted to make it accessible to the public. So he said the museum believes there's special charm in experiencing an archaeological find without any obstructions, hence the glass. And they'll continue that. The child's father said the boy, JJ, pulled the jar slightly on a visit to the museum on Friday because he was curious about what was inside. The father added that he was shocked to see his son besides next to the broken artifact. And he had initially thought it was my child who did that, wasn't me.
The father was shocked that the mom was not watching the child.
And the mom was probably shocked that the father wasn't watching the child. And there you go. So the artifact dates to somewhere from between 2200 BC to 1500 BC. It predates King David and King Solomon, who ruled the kingdom of ancient Israel back in the 10th century BC. Would have been used for sorting or transporting liquids like wine or olive oil. How about that, dude? The museum is not a mausoleum. It's a living place, open to our families and accessible. We are appealing to parents. Don't be afraid. Things like this happen. We will fix the jar and put it back. Will you?
You can't fix the 3,500-year-old jar. Put a bunch of Gorilla Glue on it and pretend like nothing happened.
I mean, this thing, as I'm looking at it, it's like, this is a jigsaw puzzle now. It is a puzzle. There's a big part of the base is left, but I mean,
it has a new history.
A 3,500-year-old clay jar.
100 years from now, you can say this jar survived in this condition for 3,500.
And you bring
and then 100 years ago,
you bring that kid back on.
Child smashed it, and now look at it.
How would you feel?
New history.
I mean, I don't know if they're charging.
I'd be mortified.
What would you do? And your kid would feel horrible, and it's kind of your fault, but kind of his fault. But he's a 4-year-old, 5-year-old kid that's just a curious kid. You want to talk about a bull in a china shop, right? Be mortified. You can't repay it. You can't rebuild it. You can't, I'll go buy you another one. How do you discipline your child on that?
Definitely a learning moment.
Ooh.
Because it's one, if there's things in the open, then you have to be more cautious.
As a parent.
With a 4 or 5-year-old.
Yes. I mean, mortified.
I wouldn't take my kid to that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either.
Like, you know what? Let's go to Explora where you can touch everything.
And go beat the hell out of everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Or let's just go look at some dinosaur bones.
Mm. All right, I got a little news for you. This came in about 13 minutes ago. We talked about it might happen yesterday.
Your boy.
I'm not sure he's my boy, although I did watch a dude in my fantasy league pick him up yesterday on the waivers. Dalvin Cook is a Cowboy. Or will be. Cowboys set their 53-man roster yesterday that had 3 running backs on it. Dalvin Cook is a 4-time Pro Bowler. He will join Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Lupke, who's the fullback. Who gets cut now? Deuce Vaughn?
From what I was reading, they had, I think, a player that was going to go on IR. So I don't know if that opens up a spot, but if no one's getting cut.
None of the running backs are.
Because it sounds like he's signing the practice squad, so you don't have to make a roster.
Oh, is he going to the practice squad?
Yeah.
Well, Dalvin Cook, who was...
Keep chasing the name, y'all. Keep chasing
No, and that's what people are doing. That's why the dude picked him up yesterday. 100%.
He's going to pick him up to drop him. Like, this is Dalvin Cook was once a thing. He's not anymore in terms of fantasy football. In real life,
yeah,
the Dallas Cowboys, what this does is it solidifies. If you took CeeDee Lamb number 1 overall in your draft or got him in the first round still because he's that guy, this is great. Dak Prescott, I think, is going to be a good fantasy quarterback because all they're doing, it's going to be Dak Prescott, hike, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson. CeeDee Lamb, maybe a handoff. Because Ezekiel at Dalvin Cook, they're old running backs. So at this point in time, they're not creating anything. Dalvin Cook is going to give you exactly what Ezekiel Elliott can, and that's just get what the offensive line can give you.
Yeah, old running backs. Hey, can I ask you a fantasy football question?
Of course.
Value me, because I'm starting to think different on that team I showed you on who to keep. Value DJ Moore to me, and I asked you this because I watched Hard Knocks yesterday, and it was all about Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen. Where is DJ Moore fitting in that wide receiver room?
I think DJ Moore is definitely going to see a few less targets this year just because it's crowded now with Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. But where you're getting DJ Moore,
22nd,
which is wide receiver 22, so probably 4th or 5th round, and he might be on your fantasy football team as wide receiver 2. I still think that's good value because I'm expecting the Bears' offense to be sustainable this year. I think Caleb Williams is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be C.J. Stroud good. We're like, oh my gosh, dude's going over 4,000 yards. But he's going to be efficient. He can make throws. And DJ Moore is the one guy that's going to be on the field. Keenan Allen might come off a little bit. Rome Odunze might be off. But DJ Moore is going to be the guy that's sniffing when healthy 100% snaps.
So you think he's the number 1 receiver?
Yes. And I think Rome Odunze has big upside. Like a guy that you in fantasy football drafts get him late. And by the end of the season, could he overtake Keenan Allen? I do think that's possible. Just based on management a little bit. If this team is competitive, is sniffing at a wild card, then I do believe that those guys are going to be good. From a fantasy football perspective right now, I'm probably looking at getting DJ Moore, potentially in the 5th round. That's a very good value.
Is he worth $44 of my salary cap?
Depending on what's out there, yeah. Because I know there's keepers involved, so there's going to be a lot of players off the board.
All right. 505-246-0610. Catch JJ's podcast, by the way.
Well, it's the Three Dudes Fantasy Football Show. Where YouTube, check us out there. Just recorded with kind of our last fantasy draft episode because I know Labor Day weekend, it's the last push. A lot of leagues going down. Maybe you're drafting your 3rd, 4th teams, but we did an episode that is live now, Three Dudes Fantasy Football Show on YouTube. We gave out the guys you need to pick round 1 through 10. And we took into account kind of that question, the value, where you're getting these players in drafts, how you can look at building your team. And I love fantasy draft season, man. It's great time. It's hope.
Catch the podcast. I think it'll help you.
And then Sunday night, when you get ready to watch Sunday Night Football Week 1, you're like, this is terrible.
These guys
and I don't want to
suck.
do this anymore.
I hate fantasy football. It's stupid as hell. All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming, 888-922-0610 if for whatever reason you are still paying a toll. Hey, college football's talking about changing up their transfer portal window. They've got one in the spring and one in the winter. The winter may be the only one. Is that good? Is it bad? Your thoughts, what Bronco Mendenhall had to say, and what it really means. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Out.
This is Two Men.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I know it's your favorite subject. I know you love transfer portal. You love when guys come in, not so much when they leave, right? Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Come on in today, 505-246-0610. Rod said, boy, that's a pretty picture, Jefferson. Not seeing JJ on ProView all by himself. Hope the maids don't stop by and turn off the lights, think of the studio's empty. The lights are off. The lights are already off. Sorry about having a ditch for a couple of segments. The big boss has asked me to go into that meeting. Sorry, dude.
You don't have to say sorry.
I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. All right.
I can keep us on the tracks long enough.
More than long enough.
Might be a little wobbly. Alarms might be going off.
More than on the
Seals
track.
might be leaking, but we're still here.
All right. I don't know where you are. I know where I am, but I'm certainly tainted in my view on this. College football's spring transfer period may be eliminated. This is the NCAA FBS and FCS Oversight Committee recommended to move to a single off-season notification of transfer window. And that would be the December window. It'll open the Monday after conference title games and go from December 9th through January 7th, basically bowl season. The NCAA cited a focus on promoting roster stability for student athletes in their programs. So in this proposal, it's a 30-day window. December would become the lone opportunity for FBS and FCS players to enter their names into the transfer portal and find a new school. What's been going on over the last couple of years, the transfer portal is also open for a 15-day window in April. So players whose teams are competing in the expanded 12-team college football playoff, or the FCS playoffs for that matter, would still get a 5-day exception or exemption after their season is concluded. I hate this because it's bowl season and it takes so many players just out of the postseason. Sean Ryder, who writes for the Albuquerque Journal, asked this question of Bronco Mendenhall at the press conference on Monday. And Bronco says his first inclination is, I like it. The thought is student athletes don't transfer mid-semester. They're in school for the second semester at their new school. I asked a follow-up on that. Do you think it would incentivize guys and be to get in that window, obviously, and then miss postseason? He said, yeah. I mean, that would be certain. Now, could for instance, our game's on the 28th. I mean, would guys stick around for a bowl game and then transfer? Most likely not, right? They're going to transfer. They're going to say, I'm out before once school ends and before the bowl game, right? So I think it hurts the postseason. It may even hurt maybe not the guys who are playing first or on the 2 deep in the college football playoff, JJ, but a guy who's, third on the depth chart, you got a running back from Iowa State last year. Let's say Iowa State was in the playoff. Would he have transferred before the playoff or not? I don't like it, but I understand why coaches may like it.
I think transfer portals for specific sports should open when that season is done.
Including the postseason, correct?
The postseason.
Yeah.
Like not before, not just because your regular season is over.
Mm-hmm.
When the season is over.
You and I
after bowl season, after championship season, after March Madness, then the portal should open.
Yeah.
And I would be okay with even with that, a June portal window, but maybe a smaller one.
Yeah, and I know a
Not
lot
like
of coaches were really
period.
upset that they go through spring practice and then lose 10 guys.
But I'm sure there's also some coaches that are like, maybe we could use a
Well,
couple more guys for the fall.
Look how many
semester.
guys came onto the Lobo roster late, like during the summer, right? Who are still in the portal. Now that doesn't mean you have to come out of the portal. That's the time to go into the portal. And I understand that I want to get them into school argument. I really do. But there's exceptions for when a coach leaves. So when Nick Saban in late January announced his retirement, a 30-day portal window opened for the student athletes at the University of Alabama. Well, school was already in session. And then when Kalen DeBoer 5 days later got the job from Washington to Alabama, a 30-day window opened at Washington. And then when Jed Fish got the job and left Arizona and went up to Washington, now we're in early February, school's already in session in Arizona, those student athletes now had a 30-day window to transfer. And then when Brent Brennan left San Jose State and went to Arizona in mid-February, the student athletes at San Jose State then had a 30-day window. So there's obviously a way to do it, right? There obviously is a way to do it. And JJ, I'm at 100% agreement with you and obviously anybody. And full disclosure, I run a bowl game. And so, yeah, my opinion is a bit tainted, but certainly people in our industry are saying have it go from the end of, when your season ends through the middle of January. That still gives you plenty of time. if your season ends on the 28th, 29th, 30th, you still have 2 weeks, and you probably already have your feelers out anyway. But it's highly imperfect, and this is kind of the only sport where free agency or portal or whatever you want to call it in this case happens before the entirety of the season is over. 505-246-0610. Jeffrey, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jeffrey.
Good morning.
What's happening?
I was thinking about the Lobo game the other day and why Lobo Nation is predominantly, especially disappointed. And I think it's something that Jade, you kind of alluded to the other day. I don't think it was the loss itself. Yes, it was. I don't think it was just the dramatic way that they, kind of blew the lead. But I also think it was the collection of variables that created this, what I would call platform of anticipation. You got a new year, got a new coach, you've got numerous new players, you've got all this anticipation for months and months and months of anticipation and expectation. And it's now impossible to recreate that architecture of anticipation and expectation because those things are gone. The new coach there, we saw him, the new game, all of that. And I think when you put all those variables together and they lose in such a dramatic way, I think it's particularly disappointing because now you can't recreate, a new coach, right? He is no longer a virgin coach, virgin year, first home game. And I think that's why it's especially disappointing because of that, what I would call architecture of anticipation. It's dismantled now beyond the loss itself. Does that make sense? It does, but I mean, how drastic? Yeah. So you get one chance to make a first impression. Essentially, is what you're saying, right? Right. Right. But how? I don't know, man. How detrimental? I mean, is that something you can't come back from? Is that people never support the program because he lost his opener? No, I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm simply describing the particular disappointment because of the anticipation. I think most people, even me, who are marginal football fans, because as everybody knows that listens, I'm a basketball fan first. Yeah. But even I was looking forward with some anticipation to this new coach, and I assumed he was going to win this game, or the Lobos would win the game. Right. He's not playing. Right. And with that loss, even somebody like me who marginally follows football, it's disappointing even for me. Does that mean I won't ever re-support the team? No, I will. I'm just saying when you create this architecture of anticipation for 6 months, all we've been hearing is Bronco Mendenhall, and I'm not saying he's not going to be successful because I believe he will. But I'm just saying when you create you put all these variables together, and you can't recreate it. Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. Right. But anyway, nice talking to you guys. No, thanks. I agree to some respect, but I don't to another. It was a tough loss, and he's right. It just everything you said going into the game. If they lose this game, they're not home for another month. They're going to Arizona and Auburn, and what could happen over the next couple of weeks. Like this was your opportunity to continue to build some excitement, or at least start to build some excitement. And it's something new. And they did lose, and they did lose in the fashion in which they lost. And yeah, it's a bummer. I just can't give up on this coach, this staff, this rebuild because of one game, and a game in which they were competitive, granted against an FCS team, but a good one.
I think I'm a little bit too thinking about it too much from a marketing perspective, but it was also we've been doing this for a long time and having these conversations with global football, and that's part of what you say. Yeah. It's yes, could they shock the world? Absolutely, but you can't expect that. I don't expect them to be Arizona and Auburn. If they do, that's an entirely different conversation. But the Montana State game was the one thing you could hang your hat on and say they got the win. Hopefully they're competitive against Arizona and Auburn. And then you'd be like, all right, guys, we're back. That's behind us. It's Mountain West football. Boom, let's go September 21st. But now if you're sitting there, and you can talk about rebuilding all you want and being patient, and fans are going to be there. Fans are going to buy in. But now, if this team starts 0-4, if you get your first win against New Mexico State, that's still kind of ho-hum for a lot of people because they expect you to win that game. Even as good as the Aggies were the last 2 years, what they've been able to do against the Lobos in the recent matchups. Then all of a sudden, October 12th. After that is your next opportunity. So it's just from setting it up, from trying to sell hope, it took a big hit, but you can shock the world. And that's why you play the game, is you have the chance to do the unexpected on the football field.
He's not wrong. You lost your one chance to have your first impression. Yeah, you only get one chance for that. But to me, again, it was one game. And it was a bummer the way you lost. They played better. They lost. That's the bottom line. And so for a fan like that, he's like, yeah, I wanted a reason. And I think that's where what you're saying is this fan base has been beat up for so long. A guy like that is like, why am I buying into it? Because it looked exactly the same and felt exactly the same. And I get that.
And I want to feel different. And that's why I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, this is, they're going to be 0-4 to start the season. They have no chance. Let's see if they can compete. Let's see if they can go into Arizona, Auburn, and put things out there that would make you feel like, hey, they have a chance against a good Fresno State football team, because we know how tough the schedule was. So I think that's why so many people are just looking for, just give us this one moment.
Yeah.
Give us that win in the opener, and then let us go through this tough stretch.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. You can keep them coming. You got an event coming up? Big event? Small event? If it's yours, it's a big event. I know it's a big event. How about the Albuquerque Convention Center? How about looking at the space that they've got, because it's incredible. 600,000 plus square footage of flexible indoor and outdoor meeting space, vocal art throughout the building. The Kiva Auditorium's there. They've got a parking garage adjacent to the facility, so it's easy in, easy out. Amazing staff, great service. The food and beverage options go above and beyond. Your dream event will become a reality. Look, holiday season's just around the corner. If you're searching for the perfect venue for that party, it's the Albuquerque Convention Center. They got space for your need and any celebration you can plan. From intimate dinners and gatherings to grand socials and galas, staff, service, food, and beverage options will exceed your expectations. So make your party an event everyone wants to attend. The Isleta New Mexico Bowl has hosted the players there on Thursday night every year. Why? Because they take care of our guys. The service is spectacular. The place is wonderful. Be at the center of it all. Be at the event that everybody wants to be at. In fact, create it. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. The phone number is 505-768-4575, 505-768-4575, or online at albuquerquecc.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
A tight game against SMU, meaning, let's say the Lobos are winning a lot of the game at Arizona, or let's say they lose to Arizona by 8 to 14 points. How do we feel about that sitting here Monday?
We're going to feel...
We're not going to sit here Monday because it's Labor
on
Day.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come in Tuesday.
Yeah.
And have just loads and loads of college football to discuss.
Yeah.
We're going to feel pretty good.
So if they lose to Arizona by 8 to 14 points. Okay.
But then you got to sit on it, and you still got Auburn.
And by the way, Auburn doesn't know the difference between New Mexico and New Mexico State.
So that feeling of playing a game in Arizona can go away very quickly.
Well, that's interesting too. New Mexico State went down there and beat them last year, and they think the same damn team's coming down. I mean, honestly,
revenge season.
Yeah, they think it's revenge. They have no idea. They don't know. They don't care.
Just taking it on this state.
I told you about a month ago, I was playing golf with my brother and his brother-in-law, and his brother-in-law's daughter just graduated Auburn. Right? So he was talking college football. Oh, yeah, no, we're this. And New Mexico's coming in again this year. They're not going to catch us by surprise this time. I'm like, no, dude, New Mexico's not coming in again. He's like, oh, yeah. No, they beat, I was like 31-10 the week before the Iron Bowl. But we're going to be ready this time. I'm like, no, dude, that was New Mexico State. This is New Mexico, totally different. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter, man. We're going to, right? So they don't know the difference. Like the Aggies went down and won, and it's a double whammy for what?
They're like, how do these teams from outside the United States keep popping up on our college football schedule?
You know, I mean, this is a double prize for the Aggies. Triple. A, they got paid $1.5 million to go down there. B, they beat Auburn, and C, it woke up Auburn for New Mexico coming in this year because they don't know the damn difference. Like literally.
And you know what? The coaching staff is like darn right.
Yeah, remember when these guys came in and beat your ass
got
last
you?
week? Yeah, or last year? Yeah, 100%. And their fans don't know the difference. War damn Lobo. They don't know the difference. So yeah, I'm interested, man. I so want to think taking 31 points in the Lobos is stealing. I really do. But JJ, you got me scared to death. And well, it's not even you. Just watching Montana State run for 360 whatever yards they ran for, and knowing that they've got 4 running backs, Bill's one of them, and they got a good offensive line. How is New Mexico going to stop the run? How are they going to keep them off the board? And by the way, the offense, it's not like they were a juggernaut. Yeah, you scored 31 points, but 14 of those were on scoop and scores. Right? What's 31 minus 14?
Yeah, and when the game was on the line,
24.
the offense let you down.
Yeah.
The receivers couldn't catch their down pass.
I mean, I want to be really optimistic about it. And I thought last week taking 13.5 was stealing, and you won your bet if you did it. But, I mean, you're concerned. And I know you're concerned about it. By the way, you get football tomorrow night. Do you have a favorite on the Thursday night slate? Because there's like 20 damn games tomorrow night, dude. Like literally games all over the place.
As it should be.
Now, I don't know that I got something that there's a lot of FCS, FBS games. In fact, every damn
Colorado, North Dakota State.
Is that tomorrow night?
Yes.
So that's an ESPN game at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Or that's
Coastal Carolina, Jacksonville State.
And that's tomorrow night too. I love that. That is so sneaky good. Like honestly, that is so sneaky good. That's the best team maybe in the Sun Belt against maybe the best team in Conference USA. Jacksonville State's a 2.5-point favorite over Coastal. That's Rich Rod's team.
You know, Liberty's getting the love.
They're getting all the
as
love.
usual.
Well, they should though. I mean, they got a quarterback.
They
They got a quarterback back that went to the Fiesta Bowl. Minnesota, North Carolina is interesting. Yeah.
San Jose State, Sacramento State. The only reason I'm bringing that up is I was looking at Bill Conley's predictions on ESPN. He puts them out every week. He has his SP Plus formula, just a bunch of things. And he puts it in a computer, spits out rankings, predictions for the week.
Okay.
And he had this game: San Jose State 29, Sacramento State 25. New coach, new era, Spartans. Thursday night, FCS team. Bill's sounds a little familiar.
Mm-hmm. What, how many of these, I don't even know how many there are, but if I said to you over under 2.5, how many FCS teams will beat an FBS team this weekend?
I might take the over.
I think I am too. I'll give you a couple of close spreads. Lafayette's only a 3.5-point dog at Buffalo. Jackson, did you check, I didn't either, Louisiana Monroe's depth chart? And who their starting quarterback is? I want to look at that too. I'll let you know when we come back from the break. But there are a couple of games on there. Did Aiden Armenta make that? I'd like to know. There's a couple of smaller spreads. Sacramento State being one of them. Only a 3.5-point dog at San Jose State. But there'll be a few, man. There will be a few. And you're just going to go, how the hell did that happen? And who is that place? And, how's their fan base feeling? And I'll check that for you, and I'll let you know how Aiden Armenta did when we come back. 505-246-0610. We'll wrap it up on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in
Sports Animal. Taking you home on a beautiful, almost autumnal feeling. Almost. Wednesday. Tomorrow, Jerry Palm's going to be with us. CBS Sports' Jerry Palm is going to resume his traditional spot Thursdays at 8:30 here on the opening drive. Looking forward to get the season started with him. Louisiana Monroe opens up on Thursday. That'll be tomorrow. Against Jackson State, new head coach Bryant Vincent, his debut, the former Lobo offensive coordinator. Their quarterback, JJ, will be General Booty, the Oklahoma transfer, who beat out
that Booty's been bouncing around college football.
Yeah, that Booty's been all over the place. Yep. He's the nephew of John David Booty, the former USC quarterback. But so General Booty is the number 1 quarterback at Louisiana Monroe, and he gets the start. Aiden Armenta is the number 2 on the depth chart, the former La Cueva star. But I look at it as a redshirt junior as Booty. So will Aiden get some time? He did earn number 2 spot on the depth chart. So college football number 2 quarterbacks get time. It'd be interesting to see. Interesting schedule certainly for Louisiana Monroe. They're playing a Sun Belt schedule, but they open up with 2 home games, Jackson State and then UAB. Then they go to Texas. And then they go to Troy, and then they get into their schedule. They got to go to Texas and Auburn this year. How does that feel? Well, I guess the Lobos kind of know.
Might be a little sore.
Yeah.
After all that,
he'll get in those games, don't you think? I mean, if they get down big, right? The 2s go out there a little bit and play. So we'll watch, see how Aiden does. I'm looking forward to him getting an opportunity. I just go back. I hearken to high school, and then I hearken to last year's spring game, or end of fall camp game, and I thought he looked so good in that game. And Danny Gonzalez talked about the improvement of it. So I'd love to see him get a shot. All right, 505-246-0610 if you still want to get in. What are people going to be talking about? As you go through your Wednesday, Cowboys have signed a running back, and JJ's right on this. This is all about the name. I don't know that this is going to be a big impact thing, but Dalvin Cook, the former Vikings star, has been signed to the practice squad for the Dallas Cowboys. What does that mean? What will that mean as far as contribution? Probably not very much, but Kyron Williams, the Rams running back, according to his head coach, Sean McVay, will be returning punts. Asia Wilson scored 42 points last night in a loss for the Aces. Funny how that the WNBA, by the way, with that big break in the middle, now they've come back and football started, and it's kind of faded, huh? Have you watched any games?
Going to regardless.
Well, it was. Have you watched any games?
Football starts. Yes. I was actually watching the Liberty Mercury game.
Were you? All right.
On NBA TV.
Okay.
And the fact that the storylines are picked up where they left off, like Caitlin Clark
100%.
is better rested, and Angel Reese is a rebounding machine.
Who's rookie of the year?
It's going to be Caitlin Clark.
Do you think it should be?
Yes. Point guard, putting up numbers, 15-5, the most in a regular season. Angel Reese is rebounding like crazy, but she'll have games where she has 5 points, 20 rebounds, and was like 3 of 15 from the field.
Well, and I think the impact on their team, right? I mean, both teams look like they're going to make the playoffs. Chicago and Angel Reese are holding on to the final spot, and there's 7 or 8 out of the 12 teams make the playoffs. Indiana and Caitlin Clark is 7th, but they're 3.5 games clear of the Chicago Sky, who are only 1 game clear of Atlanta. And so I agree with you. And as far as, you start looking at the stats and the scoring and, assists and everything that goes with it. Caitlin Clark right now is top 10 in the WNBA in scoring at 18 points per game. That's pretty incredible, right? For a rookie. And you start looking, at assists and everything else. Caitlin Clark leads the league in assists at 8.2 assists per game. Looking for rebounds. You see rebounds anywhere? There it is. Angel Reese leads the league in rebounding at 12.9. How about the fact that you got a rookie leading the league in rebounding and a rookie leading the league in assists?
And it's a growth of the game. Talented players at a younger age.
No. Asia Wilson scoring 27 points a game. She's your MVP, right? We're not having an argument there. Caitlin Clark's at 18 points per game. She's shooting.
If Issa Collier, Minnesota is going to have an argument for MVP.
Okay.
21-11 on a team with a better record right now than the Aces.
Okay. I think the fact that Asia Wilson, she didn't get it last year, right? I think there's a little bit of a swell there. All right, what do you get today? You get the baseball. You get, don't forget that the pennant races are still going. Topes are home tonight. If you want to go out and have a good time at the ballpark, you get to do that as well. And CeeDee Lamb is back. Hey, what do you make of the Jamar Chase thing coming back? So that's him basically resigned to, I'm not getting a new contract. I probably need to play football this year.
It's an understanding of where the Bengals are, too, that they're not going to go out of their way to sign him. They just watched T. Higgins have to play on a franchise tag. The fact that Bengals are like, dude, we got you for 2 more years on this.
Whether you like it or not. Yeah.
You can say that again next year, have fun with that. But they went all in with Joe Burrow. That's where their money is. And Jamar Chase, go out there and second a big season unless Joe Burrow's on the field, which, yeah, that's what you get. He's been over 1,000 yards each year.
Chiefs cut Kadarius Toney. Is it the end of the line for him, or somebody else can take a shot at him?
Pop up on a practice squad. Kadarius!
There's a former first-round pick. The Giants swung and missed.
Helped them win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
A special teams touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Yeah.
Then just decided to drop everything after that.
Yeah. He was big in the Super Bowl. He had that 65-yard punt return. But, yeah, he drops the ball a lot. And so while you may not think the Chiefs' receiving core is spectacular, he wasn't.
It got a lot better.
Yeah, I think it did too. I think it's gotten a lot better. Text line. This is today? Yeah, this is today. I believe when it comes to Louisville football, folks want to say, I told you so. We truly have a small segment of loyal fans that I understand there's understandable frustration with them. In formats like this show and social media, the most toxic aspects of people come to light. Untalented, unmotivated commentators that will never buy a ticket or watch a game are dissing talented and motivated people. It highlights our worst trait as humans, jealousy and hatred. Wow, there's a lot in that.
It's a little deep.
Yeah. Untalented. Is that what he's calling the callers and texters, right? Untalented, unmotivated commentators.
Or us?
Well, no. I mean, I don't think I buy tickets, and I got season tickets. I watch games. You watch games. Are dissing talented and motivated people. It highlights our worst traits as humans. So to this texter, and there's something in that. I think there is an aspect of this base, and I'm loath a little bit to call it a fan base, who does revel in Louisville football, whatever the opposite of success is, right? Which I guess would be failure.
Yeah, is that the Schadenfreude?
Yeah. They want to see Louisville football fail. And it's the I told you so, and why would I ever go out and watch it? And there is that. And they'll sit here and tell you, and this is too very broad brush, so I'm not including the Jeffrey who called. I think he truly does want Louisville football to succeed. But they'll tell you that they want them, but they don't. They revel in that. They won't go. He's right. A lot of these people won't ever go to a game, won't watch it, and I get it. Well, I'm not going to a game, Jeff. They stink, and I'm not. Oh, okay. But I think there is a faction that won't know what to do when they're successful. And I'll tell you what they'll do. They'll tell you, well, who'd they beat? They only beat San Jose State, Jeff. San Diego State's down this year. They only beat them. They only beat, right? It's never good enough. When you go up and beat Boise State on the blue, yeah, but they were looking past you. Yeah, there is that faction. Like, their identity basically is reveling in Louisville failure. Don't you think there is that? I mean, like, are they fans?
I think that's a part of sport for a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably right. All right, what else? I want to make sure I got all your stuff in. Gopher says, T.O. was really 21 points, Jeff. Louisville football got 10 points off the set offense. They got 14 from the fumble, and 7 came off a schoolyard play. Why is that a schoolyard play? Why is a naked boot a schoolyard play? You'll see it again this year. How about calling the naked boot that Dan Pierce scored on a pretty damn good play and a good call and good execution? I don't think that was a schoolyard play. All right, who's with us today? Oh, Sebastian Noel, thanks to him. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4 o'clock. Then you get Isotopes in Reno. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio. We'll start it at 7 a.m. Adrian looks great. Always does. Thank you. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.